Hi, this is Mary Lassiter, and we are going to, this is video 2 for Unit 4, 5.NBT.3. We're using base 10 blocks and literature to compare two decimals based on the meaning of the digits. Now, think back to what we did on video 1. This is video 2, and on video 1, we played Race to $1. Now, what if when you played that Race to $1, you got the kids to keep a data sheet? Their rolls, their fraction of $1, just very simple. Put it on just notebook paper. And then the decimal notation. What does that mean? Ooh, that's 0 dimes and 7 pennies. That's 1 dime and 3 pennies. So you could do that. Now let's look at this with the base 10 blocks, okay? What if I'm asking the kids, like we're supposed to do here, we're supposed to compare two decimals. So many times when kids look at this, they think, oh, the 7's the largest. So what I do, we've got this same base 10 chart, and I just fold it, and then I've got me a little dotted line down the middle. So I'm gonna represent, okay, there's my decimal. I have 0 tenths, or dimes if I'm doing money, but I'm gonna do base 10 blocks, and I've got 7 hundredths. Get one more out of here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yep, they've got 7 hundredths there. So that's that number. Okay, then I've got, wow, 2 in the tenths place and nothing in the hundredths place. So let's do this below the dash line. And then look how easy that comparison is for them. They're able to see, oh my goodness, that's only 7 of these. That's just a portion of one of those 10s, to be able to say that 7 hundredths is less than 2 tenths. And again, you've got to get this base 10, the decimals, and make sure you get your tenths and your hundredths firm before you move to your thousands. Because once you get these two place values to the right of the decimal, the thousandths are going to come easier. And this is basing it on things that we can do easily with Make a Meter, if we're going to be playing that some other time, and the money game that we just played. All right, now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at a book. The book we're going to use today, I'm going to use If America Were a Village, since we study American history in 5th grade. There's also If the World Were a Village, both by David J. Smith, but we're going to use this first. Now, they talk about how it's so hard. You know, they're talking about all the stuff with the virus and everything, and they're talking about these millions and millions and hundreds of millions of people. And those numbers are just so big and so hard to understand. This book takes it down to the level that the kids can understand. So to find out more about America and Americans, we're going to reduce the whole population of America to a village of 100 people. The imaginary village you see, each person in the village of 100 will represent more than 3 million Americans in the real world. Okay, so now you could do so many lessons in here. I am just going to do one of them. We're going to do the lesson called What Do We Do? Okay, so here we've got these 100 Americans, and we're going to talk about what we do, and we're going to represent it concretely and pictorially. Okay, these people, and I'll leave this out, 27 go to school, 47 work, 5 can't find work, 15 are retired, and 6 are unable to work. So let's represent this on a 10 by 10 grid. Okay, so we've got that. Got our 10 by 10 grid. So just take your centimeter grid paper, and you want your kids to draw a 10 by 10 grid. And I love this representation so many times when we're looking at the state test. this is one of their pictorials. So, and think about this. This is just like the flat. That is my whole. My whole of everybody, that whole village of 100. And what do they do? Okay? So it said 27 of these 100. So let's look at this. Think about this. You've got a 10 by 10 grid. How many little squares are in that 10 by 10 grid? We have 100 in the 10 by 10 grid. Okay, so the first thing we have to represent is 27 go to school. So we're going to take we're going to have 5 different crayons for each kid. So I'm going to say, okay, well, one row is 10. Color in that first row, okay? But I got to have 27. 27 of the 100 of the whole village. This square of 100 represents our whole village. And then I've got to have 7 more. 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. Okay. So now, down below, we're going to have to record what we've done. So I start with my legend. So I'm going to have but the purple is going to represent school. Okay, and in school we had 27 of the 100. 27 of the 100 were in school. How do I write 27 hundredths? Think back to your place value. 27 hundredths as a decimal. Now, you can also, you're not charged with learning percent, but percent means per 100, so this would be 27% of the people in the village. So we got 27 that are going to school. So we see what that looks like, and we want to talk to them about, is that more than or less than a quarter of the people? What would a quarter of 100 be? And again, if they go back to money, we didn't use quarters, but you got to think 4 quarters make your $1. So 25 hundredths would be our quarter of this 10 by 10 grid. So 27, so more than a fourth of these kids these people are in school. Now 47 work. So I've got 3 there. I'm going to do my 40, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, I'm going to color this in. So that's going to give me my 40. I've got to have 47 that are working. And of course, nowadays, when this book was written, things were different. Nowadays, we have a lot of people unemployed. So this changes, but still the math is great to do with this. So now I've got my 40, I've got 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. I need 4 more to make my 7. Oh my goodness, when I look at that 47, I think, man, 47 hundredths. These are my workers in the orange. 47 of the 100, 47 hundredths. 47 hundredths work. Now, I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, that's almost half. Almost half, because this is 47 hundredths. 50 out of 100 would be half. So that's almost half the people. All right, let's look at the next thing. We've got our retired. Oh, I'm sorry. 5 can't find work. I'm changing my color to a red. Okay, so this is going to be the can't find work. And that's only 5. And again, that depends on the time in our country. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 cannot find work. Okay, so that's going to be 5 of 100. Okay, now again, you might have to go back to this. That's 5 hundredths. Only 5 of these. That's hard. We don't have any tenths in this. That's a harder one to do. So we have no tenths, no dimes. We've got 5 if we thought of this whole square as a dollar instead of the people. So that's hard to do when you get the 1 digit. So make sure you bring that back in if necessary. All right, the next thing, we've got 15 people are retired. So we've got retired. Okay, so I'm going to do a 10 on this row and a 1. That gives me my 11, but I've got to have 15, so I've got to have 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so up, and I'm gonna write in another color for this because it's hard to see that. So we have 15 out of 100 are retired, and my decimal for that is 15 hundredths. And then the very last thing is unable to work. And for that one, again, we have another one of these single digits. We only have 6 of the 100. So that will be 6 hundredths. And again, that's going to be one that's going to have, we've got 6 in the hundredths place, but we don't have any in the tenths place. Now, you can do lots of comparison here. You can say, you know, which one of these decimals, let's go least to greatest. And so they would have to start with the can't find work, the 5 hundredths, going to the unable to work, 6 hundredths. Then which one is the next? You could compare, you could do it that way, or you could say, oh, let's look at the purple, the people going to school, or the green, retired. Which one of those is greatest, is greater, and why? And I hope you enjoyed this book, If America Were a Village. And again, this is NBT A3. This is video 2 of Unit 4.